Well, hi, Felicity. Thank you so much for inviting me back on your show.
It is so good. You will see when you look at the video, I put in the title, Part 3 of 100.
That's good.
I want many, many conversations with Zandra, and it's always so powerful, always great to see you. So thank you for being here.
Yes, I appreciate the invites. So, yeah. So, I
We,
just want to start out with giving a shout out to my brother, Luis, for the hat. Thank you. Luis
Luis,
Enrique. It's
this
a Buffalo
hat
Bills hat.
is like stunning. I'm like, Buffalo Bills, there's roses, there's all kinds of artwork. It's gorgeous.
And he chose it. So, go figure.
Well, there's a reason that he makes the big bucks, right? That he was stolen the way he was.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. He's a great brother. I love him very much. I love all my siblings very much.
of course, and I had put a post this past week or week before about sometimes people that go to war the most are the people that love the most. We are out here fighting for freedom in our various different ways that we're doing it, and it's once you get a taste of the freedom that God wants to bring you, you really want everyone to come in. And
Right.
that's really the basis of our conversation today. Xandra and I had a conversation this past week, and it has just blown my mind. I keep thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it. I don't even know how we got started, but one of the things I'll just kind of hit you with right off the bat is she pointed out to me that every person who began to preach the power of love
Yep.
was soon after killed.
Murdered. Murdered.
Murdered. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, and they
Murdered.
didn't die of a
Yeah, yeah,
natural.
yeah.
Yeah, they didn't die of a natural death.
No, no, they were murdered, and it started with Jesus Christ. And I think that that's a really relevant point that we need to remember today. That unfortunately, in the times that we live and that we've been living on this earth, really, since Jesus Christ was murdered for promoting love and preaching love and healing people, it's been a continuous thing that happens, and we're just talking about our times, right? Felicity, we're just talking about during these times that we remember now. So you think back to Martin Luther King, he was peaceful in his protests, and he had a lot of power. But why? Because he promoted love and peace. And then you think about John Lennon. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And I'm sure
We
there's so
talked
many
about
people.
Malcolm X.
Yeah,
Um,
yes, we did talk
yeah,
about this.
Dr. Sebi, is
Yeah,
somebody
Dr.
that,
Sabi.
yeah, and many of his followers actually. I mean, it really got me thinking. And a lot of my audience is Christian. And so I want to really kind of speak a word to Christians. And the fact that you brought up Jesus first and foremost is very
Yeah,
important.
absolutely.
This is why it is so important because I want you guys to think about the fact that Jesus did not preach Christianity.
No,
Now, that is obvious because Christianity is based on his life, right? But I really want you to think about what that means. It the people that we are talking about today, they did not preach a particular religion. Dr. Martin Luther King came from a certain background.
yep.
Malcolm X came from a certain background, but they went to another place. This is
Mm-hmm.
not to downplay the importance of Jesus or Christianity. We're starting with Jesus. But I'm asking you to look at the ministry of Jesus and why was it so powerful? Because
Right.
he met people where they were at. He talked to them with language they could understand. Parables, meaning he used imagery like farming and mountains and different things that they could understand. And the the
And
the
also made them think. I think also made them think, Felicity, which is a really important point because from that perspective, when the human being is able to think, they can make a choice. And
wow,
that's what he wanted. He didn't force anything.
he
He
didn't.
allowed people to have their choice.
Yes, and he made them think above the religion they had been exposed to, right?
Exactly.
So the religious leaders of the day, very angry at him because he made them think, he made them challenge the things that no longer worked in the way that they were following God. And this is very relevant for today because there are many things in the way that we may have been traditionally following God that do not work anymore. We need to be willing to follow God to the place of challenging those things that are of the establishment. But the shutdowns have proven that people that seemed very bold and very zealous for the Lord and they're willing to do anything have become governmental slaves just like anything else.
They disappeared. Those individuals have disappeared, and we get to see the truth that they were in it for the money because, you have these churches. Where are people, talking that were in the pulpits before? They're not talking to their people. Not all of them, but some of them, most of them are not. And so, if you look back, historically speaking, when you think about Jews, which people tend to forget that Jesus was Jewish. He was a rabbi, okay? That's very important to remember. And it is a law, okay, for Jews that they must question everything. They are taught to question everything. Don't leave any stone unturned. And so that is what Jesus taught. And, we're forgetting that.
Another thing that goes along with your point is that Israel, which is, they're also called Israelites, right? The word Israel means to wrestle. That's why Jacob's name was changed to Israel after he wrestled with God. So it is an expectation that God has of his followers that they question things. That is a part of being a real student of God, is to question those things that are happening around them. Listen, so as someone that has spent the past couple of years really questioning a lot of things about my faith, I want to assure you that this is a very uncomfortable process that we're inviting you into. But the problem with the church today is they are encouraging people to stay comfortable. Be in your jammies, at home, watch service. We're gonna just stream it into your home and it's gonna be easy. And we're not gonna challenge the government because it's easy. Even though what they're doing is unconstitutional, we'll just take it easy. Just relax. Just obey the governing authorities. You know what I mean? They're using the scripture, but not with wisdom. They're not applying it with wisdom. You can grab any scripture and say anything you want. You know what I'm saying? You could find a Bible verse for almost anything. If I wanted to kill myself, I could go to the place where it says Judas hung himself and go hang myself. You have to use wisdom. That's not wisdom, So anyway, I'm just saying, like, this comfort thing is lulling the church to sleep.
Well, not everyone. I mean,
No. Absolutely. And what we're encouraging you today, we're inviting you into a process of questioning that's going to be uncomfortable. Did you find a place in your faith that this questioning, this wrestling was uncomfortable for you, Zandra?
Well, yeah. So it's interesting because the first time that I questioned, well, I think I was 9. My mom might remember better. But I remember going to Catholic church, and I'm not here to demonize anybody, but I'm just simply sharing what happened to me.
Yep.
And this is my opinion, and I'm able to share that. And whether people agree with it or not, it's fine. I'm not here to demonize anybody. Everyone has their own opinion. So what happened to me at 9 years old, I remember turning my face and looking at an individual who happened to be a man. And I remember feeling a little bit squirmish, just a little bit uncomfortable. Something about him made me feel uncomfortable. And then I saw what he was doing. He was looking around, and then I looked at what he was trying to look at. He was looking at all the young women, and he
Mm.
was there with his wife and children. And I remember thinking to myself, "Wow, this is happening at a church." And everyone. And then I looked at, the cross, and again, to me, it's an idol because it's a Christ who has a crown of thorns and who's bloody, and everyone's kneeling to this. I'm sorry, but I remember thinking to myself, are these adults crazy? That's not my God. My God is living. And we have to remember now and always that when you became a Christian, you allowed God into your heart. And so when you allow God into your heart, you see things from a completely different perspective. You know that despite any challenges or things that we don't have in common, or whatever arguments we have, at the end of the day, the most important thing is love. So we had an argument this morning at like what time was that? Like at 3 in the morning or something?
I think it was a little later. It was like 5, but anyway,
Okay, four
it's
in the morning, 5.
yeah, and I it really like
Well,
my
share what
relationship
it
with you has
was.
been so challenging. So I had posted somebody had talked about her ancestors, and one of her ancestors sailed with Columbus. And so she was talking about that she was proud of her ancestry and that she didn't care what Black Lives Matter said, and she doesn't care about people wanting to pull down a statue, but she was going to still be proud of her heritage. And then you replied, tell what you had said.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, I remember it saying specifically, "Yay to Columbus."
Yeah, yeah,
Right? Right.
yeah.
I mean, we have to be really fair
No, I want you to
and
tell what you
share.
responded to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because I think that's really important to this conversation is that the yay to Columbus and not wanting to take down his head or whatever it was. It was yay to the Columbus that I said, wait a second, the very first place that Columbus landed on was Puerto Rico,
Wow.
and he along with many other Native Americans, which people have a tendency of forgetting, that we are native to these lands called the Western Hemisphere. Okay, whether you're from Latin America, Central America, Puerto Rico, whatever, Canada, all the way down to Chile, there were Native Americans who lived on these lands. And Columbus ended up committing genocide to all the people, and then also bringing slaves. And then that's when we talked about, I cannot applaud somebody who commits genocide when my heart is about love, because my heart, at least that's what I feel, I
Yeah.
gave my heart to Christ, and that's where Christ lives, is in my heart. And that's part of becoming a Christian.
And what was good is that
I can't applaud him.
we have a relationship to where I was going to respond to a particular thing, and I really felt on my heart that it would be more important to say it on the phone. And I think that this is important. I have wanted to do this for so long, which is talk to someone I disagree with online, because I think it's like so it could be instructive to people, because it's very challenging to do this, and we end up getting da 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 back and forth, right? Where if you have a relationship with somebody, go into the relationship. Don't make some public display of something, but show this person. And that's where my heart of love was not to like just parade this, that, the other, but to go ahead and talk to my sister, right? And so that, I think that that's really an important thing. This post is like very hotbed topic. It has like the most comments I've had in a long time, and your comment has the most comments under it. People just keep going, 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 going. This is like a very dear topic to people, you know, and like I have never thought the things I've thought until they started bringing down the statues. And when they started doing that, I thought to myself, my issue is, and this is something I learned from Brian Stevenson, who works for the Southern Poverty Initiative, something, I forget the
Southern Poverty Law Center.
Thank you.
I know those guys personally.
Oh,
I've
wow.
actually eaten at their house, and they've actually invited me. They cooked for
Oh my gosh.
for me and for Casey Sanchez, who is an author.
Oh,
He's a writer.
he that guy is so impactful to me, and his TED Talk, it was called The Longest Standing Ovation in TED Talk History. And his movie Just Mercy, his book, they've been very meaningful to me. And one of the things he said is that the reason that he didn't support the death penalty, he said, is because every person is better than the worst thing they've ever done. And that was like kind of a new thought to me, but I apply it in this situation to say that it's hard for me to demonize someone based on the worst thing they've done because I don't know always the other things they've done.
Holistically. Yeah, you don't know that person holistically. Exactly.
Right.
And it's really, really interesting because then I also started saying that, you know, about slavery. People forget. And I am here to remind everyone.
Yes.
That the reason why slavery existed was because it was allowed and the Africans, I don't remember, different tribes,
right,
sold other tribes into slavery for money, wealth, gold, and goods.
And that is the truth. That's just the truth. That's what happened.
We have to start there. Exactly. We have to start there. And I think that most people don't start there. You know, they're just talking about all this stuff. And I'm just like, wait, hold on. This is the truth. And we definitely need to rewrite a lot of the history books showcasing the truth.
Yeah, because
so we can start from there.
If we're going to get reparations, are you going to go find those Africans? I mean, come on. See, if we don't have the truth, these conversations become ridiculous. They really become ridiculous, and they're not based on reality, right?
They're ignorance. It's based on ignorance, and you cannot have an educated conversation with somebody that doesn't know holistically what they're talking about.
Exactly.
And that's the problem. People like to speak up, and of course they have the right to, but when you hear reparations of $45 trillion, who are you going to give it to? First of all, are you going to give it to all the people who were murdered so that we could live here in this country? I love being American. I'm very blessed.
Wow.
But we did it at an expense. And I say we because it's all of us. We all participated. We all did.
Wow. That is really true. And so, you know, these are the things that can only happen in conversation. They can't happen in soundbite form. What I like about social media is it allows us to put out the sound bites so we can have the deeper conversation. But if you just stay with the sound bite, then you're going to be only on the surface. What we're here to point out today, what I really wanted to talk about is not staying on the surface of life, but going deeper into love. Going deeper into love and what it means. And you are not going to have love without discomfort.
No, never.
No.
Never.
That is not love. That is not love. If you just want to be comfortable, you never want to have any confrontation. You don't want to have a real discussion. and this is what is happening, and this is why I want to encourage Christians.
And that's what we talked about. We talked about that, you know, when you actually have discourse and disagreement, but you can talk about it and get through it, and still say, this is my opinion, I'm not going to agree with you, and it's okay, and we're still hanging out, that's real love. That's the truth.
Exactly.
And I think that's what we have to remind ourselves in this country. It's not irrelevant whether you take one side or the other. What the point is we have to come together and we have to unite. And I did write that poem, and that's how I wanted to see if I could find that poem.
Oh, my God. I know yes. that poem was kind of the start too, because it was like this realization you had. And
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I hope you find it. Now, if you go to our Messenger chat, it wouldn't be very far back because you sent it to me on Messenger.
Yeah, I did. Okay, thank you for
That's how I
reminding
found.
me.
I really would like you to read it, and this is why I'm saying, when
Thank
you
you.
hear this poem, ladies and gentlemen, when you hear this poem, and I tell you that Facebook banned the comment, you will be
Thank you.
shocked. You will be shocked, and it will explain to you exactly what we wanted to talk about today, which is the power of love. You know, when we say the power of
Thank
love,
you.
it sounds like a cliche. It doesn't sound like a big deal. We are talking about love, the actual, the deep thing. The deep thing. And this is the threat that love poses. Did you find it?
Yeah, I did,
Oh,
and it is an actual threat, and you know, people could again look back through history and see all the people that were actually murdered. Um, they didn't that they were actually murdered for sharing this love, because the love has such a high vibration that we actually go to on a whole different level. You know, that's the attunement that we have in our hearts with God, and that Christ's heart is so important. That's the only thing that unifies us. So, yeah, if you don't mind, I'd love to read it.
you have to read this thing
Okay,
because
okay, okay. I found
people
it. Thank you so
people
much.
will understand. They'll understand what we're talking about with the threat when they hear it.
Thank you, thank you. So I'm dedicating this poem to the entire world.
Hmm.
That means everyone in our past, everyone right now in our present, and everyone in the future.
That's good.
Whatever that reality is.
That's good.
To the entire world. Let us put down our weapons. Let's put our fighting down. Any and all hatred down. Everything that divides us. Let's put it all down, because the time is now to unite on behalf of the one thing only, what truly unites us, and that is LOVE, love. This one word unites the entire world. It's time to unite all around the world and sing a song at the top of our lungs until this madness stops. And that song that I was thinking about, Felicity, was One Love.
Okay, I thought so. From Bob Marley. Yep.
Yeah.
Another one, if you're
Yes.
counting how many people have
Yes.
been killed. But anyway, keep going.
Yes, and he sings about love, and he talks about love, and he constantly kept droning that into our heads. We the people, rule this world, not the other way around. We have forgotten. Okay, this is our world. It is not the 1%ers, and we will no longer be their slaves, because right now people talk about, they get lost in the slavery of the United States and this and that, but we are all slaves. Look at what was happening with pedophilia and all that. That's like a whole separate topic. But let us be love, 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 and unite. We knew this day would come. We have countless in history who pointed the way, who showed us, and they died for preaching about love and peace. They died with their blood. But we can unite in love. We will win this dark agenda. Join me in love now. It's time. Stop, stand, sing. One love.
All right, I have to remind everyone that what you just heard was banned by Facebook as being against their community standards.
Yes.
That's the thing I want you to understand.
Yeah,
so,
it was banned, and I showed you, Felicity. You saw that.
No,
you saw that with your own eyes.
That I know it was our discussion, but I think that also hit me so hard. And I know that it is in the words that you spoke, but I think it's the spirit behind the words you spoke, Zandra. I really do. What you're talking about with that vibration hit a chord where a
Of course.
fact checker or whatever their police are, Facebook police, it just it just attracted them. Get this thing off. Get
Right.
this off
But
right now.
hatred and pedophilia and everything else is okay. The violence that we're showing and all that. But the moment I spoke about love, and you know what that means to me? Woohoo! We are onto
We're on
something.
it.
We
Yes.
are onto something.
Yes, that is the thing. And that's why I was like, Zandra, will you come on the show with me again? Because because I want to speak this out and I really want to encourage. I just thank you guys have been watching so long here. Thank you for watching. If you haven't done a watch party yet, please do a watch party because people will rewind, they'll watch the whole thing or whatever and they'll get to hear this. It is so important that we begin to talk about the power of love. I'm hearing it from so many different people, so many different places, that if we can all come together, not just all Christians come together,
No.
everyone that believes in the power of love, come together, the spirit behind that begins to raise. Because God is looking for people that are reaching for Him. He is not looking for people that sit in a pew or that watch online that are tuned out, not even interested, doing it because their mama said, doing it because they think it makes them a nice person, da 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 da.
That they won't go to hell. That they won't go to hell. That's the bottom line. Remember, God knows our heart.
Exactly.
God knows our heart.
Exactly. So you have to understand that there are Muslims reaching for God. There are Buddhists reaching for the truth. Just because they grew up in a certain way, they are doing it in the way they know how. But this one Buddhist is sitting there next to another Buddhist, but one is reaching and one couldn't care less. One is thinking about dinner. Do you see what I'm saying? But all of us that are reaching are together. Do you understand? We are all together.
One.
As one. And so this is the message we have to begin to show and to share.
I want to share this because this right now, unfortunately, or fortunately, it reminds me of Life is Beautiful. And if you remember that movie, in that movie, they were taken to a concentration camp, him and his wife and his son. And he made it so that he always remained with that high positive vibration. If you remember, for his son, he's like, "Oh, this is a game. This is okay."
Yes.
Even until he got shot in the end, and he was like making fun of it and walking like the soldiers that were about to shoot him because his son was there and was going to see. But the thing is that simple act of continuing that high vibration even onto death.
Wow.
Is so important right now. Because if we don't unify, even in our vibration of love, we don't even have to touch. We could just raise our vibrations through our actions, the way we treat each other, and by singing that mantra over and over. One love, one life.
Yes.
Dun, dun, let's get together and feel all right. But do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I do.
Like that movie, Life is Beautiful. It's true. And we have to remember who we are.
That is a perfect movie to bring up because in the face of everything we're facing, we cannot afford to continue to face this on a mere human level. You have to stop that. Stop thinking about what's been taken from you. This is inconvenient. I wish things would be like they were. Listen, when things were like they were, you didn't appreciate it. So forget it. It's all gone. Just forget about that right now. Stop looking at this in a human point of view. Look at this in a point of view of love and the opportunity that we have right now. That evil is showing itself very strong. And we can now show ourselves strong. Evil is responding to good.
Right.
All of evil is looking at all of what God is doing, and it's scared. There are things that God is doing we can't see right now, but you
Right.
can tell that evil is looking and frightened because it's starting to shake, it's starting to manifest and do very crazy things. So that is a one. If you cannot tap in and understand the excitement of what God is doing right now, then just look at the enemy and see, why is he so crazy?
Right.
Because
Why is it right?
he sees what God's doing. So even you can take your cue from that. But stop approaching this from a human point of view, and from all your categories, all your separation, drop it. That's what the word is right now, is drop that and hold on to what we can all agree in, which is love, which is the truth, which is why the Bible says God is love.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, even and I've been thinking about this like all last night. Even like sharing negativity, which I know I've done. I'll, trying to wake people up. That's not working. They're not going to wake up. If somebody chooses to be on the far left or whatever they're choosing, or Black Lives Matter, or whatever, blah, 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 which they still don't want to do the research that it's owned by Antifa and blah blah blah, and it's a Marxist socialist. Like they don't even, it's communist. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to see it. And I know that because of my family. So forget about all of that, even sharing things, because guess what? It's not working. The only thing that will work, that really binds us together, is love. That's it. Nothing else. So we have to strip ourselves and start on that high vibration, because that's the only way to save humanity from the destructiveness of this evil agenda that they're posing on us right now. And who knows, if we don't do that, I don't know. I really don't.
Well, I have been very inspired by a number of different people. I was thinking again about our conversation when I was watching. I don't know if you're familiar with Bevelyn Beatty, but she is a big activist right now. And she's at the Planned Parenthood again this morning,
Yeah.
and she is. Here's the bottom line. I think, do whatever God has put on your heart on 100. If you were at 10, get to 20, get to 30. Don't stop until God turns up the pressure and the purity of what you're doing, because she does what she does in purity. She does not beat people over the head, but it's about love. She says Jesus, but she's saying love. See, it's not the word, it's the spirit
Right.
behind that word.
Exactly.
But the thing is, just like Malcolm X, he started in a certain place very passionately,
Yeah.
but he let love pull him, and
Yeah.
it evolved to something else. You
Right.
see what I'm
Because the
saying?
more he read and the more he studied, he started seeing, wait a second, my ideology is turning because I'm believing more and more in love. And that's when they murdered him.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you remember,
Oh, I mean,
historically speaking.
because he
Yeah.
started saying some stuff that was like, what? You're not supposed to be saying that. We counted on you to be like this. And it's like, no,
Yeah.
don't count on me for nothing, except
Exactly.
to follow God. So if you follow God, you follow love and purity, things may begin to evolve and change in the way that you are doing them over time. You know, and we have to allow each other that process. But what I wanted to do today online, and thank you, Zandra, so much for you just come here and open your heart. That's why I said 3 of 100, because I just want to keep putting you before people. But um like, I just want to encourage people to keep following on that path. And what I don't allow, the only thing I don't allow, and I kind of shut people down, is when they say there's nothing we can do. It just looks like evil is overtaking. No, I don't believe that. I don't allow it. I don't accept it. The changes that you're willing to make personally are going to change the world. Don't see yourself as unimportant. Listen, it's just a couple people out here pulling down statues or yelling or da 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 da. It only takes a couple people. Stop looking at your, that's why I said, take down this human point of view. You're seeing yourself as small, insignificant, one of a billion. Stop all that. You are so special. You are so powerful. You are so important, right? And you can't allow that discouragement. You have to keep
So
going.
it's also important to every single person to leave room for the possibility of of understanding, or perhaps that whatever viewpoint we have can change. Like, try to be malleable. Like, what is that Buddhist saying about the tree? That not to be as strong as the oak tree because it'll
Because
crack,
it'll break.
but be like the willow, where the willow is going with the wind. So I'll be the first to say I've made a million mistakes, and I'm probably going to make a million more. But at least I'm learning from my mistakes. And
Yes.
so then the mistake is no longer a mistake, it becomes a lesson.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
just want to finish with that.
I'm so grateful. If
Yes,
you're just tuning in, Zandra read a poem at about the I don't know, about the 7-8 minute mark or something like that. You've got to see it, and because it really details the power of the love that we're talking about. It is love that can, will, and always has changed the world,
yes,
and we must be willing to sacrifice everything for that love, and that's what we're here to promote, because there's nothing else here. There's no other reward. There's nothing else. It's
nothing.
love is what saved your life. It's the only
Yes,
thing that will help your family. It's the only thing that will help anyone else. And so I believe that God is moving on many people's hearts as this shutdown has been here. They've been away from their regular groups. God has been talking to people personally. And I think that we were able to come on here today and encourage those people. Let Him move you along. Do that wrestling. Do that uncomfortable work. And let go of the shackles of all these categories and cling on to the one thing that remains and what matters.
right here.
Thank you for being a
Thank
soldier of
you.
love. Thank you for being a soldier of love, because you're bringing me along and we help bring more people along. We've got some big things coming up, guys. So keep watching. This 3 of 100 might take place on a different platform,
Yeah,
that God is
yeah,
building. Just know that big things are happening. You're a part of it, and find out what that role is. Thanks for
yeah. So
joining
much
us.
love.
Mwah,
Love
mwah,
you
mwah, mwah,
guys.
mwah, mwah,
Love
mwah.
you. Bye.
Bless you. See you soon.
Thank you.